So earlier today, I had a realization about how I might be able to enjoy food that I want to eat and at the same time maintain a good diet. And it's really simple. And the first thing I'm going to say is I'm not advising anyone to do this because I don't really know the effects of it yet. And I'm sure there's got to be something. There's different ways you can mess this up, I think. Um, and that it can be detrimental. Um, Basically, what I'm doing is just now today I tested it essentially. I got and I tested. I went and bought some donuts that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, and then I ate. Um, I actually had some leftover uh, Asian like takeout food, like these really oily noodles, and some crab rangoon. Um, and I also had Rice Krispie treats and some of these like the Dots snack mix, like the pretzels. So it's a lot, right? But the thing is I only ingested um oatmeal and rice and a small burrito that was microwaved. Um I mean I technically ingested a little bit of the other things, but it was so small it just didn't even I just wanted to make sure there was some of it because the idea is that if you put something in your mouth and you're chewing on it, your stomach is going to prepare for that thing. So you need a little bit of what you're chewing on to go down there, I think. But basically, I ate, I actually swallowed what I wanted in my stomach, but anything I didn't want, I just spit into a plastic bag. I just spit into a plastic bag. So there was this bag of donuts. It was probably like 15 donuts, just small things. And I just chewed all of them. I wouldn't have done this if I wasn't testing it. I just wanted to just experience it. And I chewed all of those donuts and spit all of them out except for half of one, which I swallowed. Maybe actually half of two, so which I guess it would be one. Um, just because I wanted something to go in my stomach because I have heard that it will produce certain kinds of acid. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Um, but I'm not gonna risk things like I was looking it up like stomach ulcers, so I got to be careful with this practice. But and I'm not going to go as heavy as I did earlier today, um, because I did get like a little bit of pain in my stomach area, and I'm not sure if it was because of what I was doing, or just because it had been a while since I had even eaten what I had eaten, because I hadn't been eating a lot for the past several days. Um, and I also drank a bunch of fluid. Um, and that may have had something to do with it. But I think that my stomach actually got smaller over the past few weeks, and that may have affected it. Um, so this box of donuts probably was a couple thousand calories, but I didn't ingest almost any of it. I just spit it all after I was done chewing it. And I'll tell you this, it makes them a lot less appetizing when you're doing that because you kind of start to think like, well, what's the point of even, you know, actually eating it? And you also, after you chew it and you spit it out, you kind of look at it. Like you look at what's in the bag and you're just like, that's disgusting. I mean, it's not that it's completely disgusting. It's just like this gooey paste of donut. And it's like, that's what would be inside of me and my body would be trying to digest right now if I had eaten that. And if I had eaten several of them, which is what I used to, because I've had a lot of, I kind of would binge eat. Like I'd buy a 6 pack of donuts or a 4 pack of muffins or something and eat most of them in an afternoon or all of them in a 24-hour period. which is just not really very good for you, especially if like one of these muffins might be like almost 500 calories. So it makes a lot more sense to me um, to do this because actually my first thought, the reason I didn't do this before is because I heard about how your stomach prepares for food when you start to chew on something. And so the way I'm going to get around this is I will ingest a little bit of what I am chewing on every time, I think. But I'm also going to eat things like rice and beans and potatoes and things like that. And just whatever else, like vegetables, like just that sort of thing. Good stuff. And I don't really see, I, I'm just going to experiment with it and maybe there's probably going to be some sort of negative effects. Like something I thought of. I mean, they do, I was looking it up. There is, you got to be careful of things like tooth decay, which is, you got to be careful of that anyway, but especially this if I'm putting huge amounts of sugar in my mouth, like I did earlier today. I mean, I'm not swallowing in it, swallowing any of it, so it's better than actually swallowing it, because then it would go into my body and my body would have to deal with it in there, and it's going to be destructive in my body with all these crappy ingredients. Um, but chewing it is still bad for your teeth. And I mean, it's going to be bad for your teeth anyway, but like what I did this afternoon or earlier this morning, I mean, it was so much, like I definitely needed to make sure I brushed my teeth after just because how much sugar that was. And I already don't drink soda, and I try to avoid chocolate because I think tends to be the really high in sugar. Um, but it's just, I'm kind of looking back on never having done this before, and I'm like, why not do this? And I know it's kind of gross, and you might say it's wasteful. It may be wasteful, but the thing is, if I'm going to buy the food, the thing is, I shouldn't be eating the food in the first place. It's junk food. It's called junk food for a reason, because it's junk. It's worse for you to have it when you're in a first world country and you already have enough food to eat. It's worse for you to have these foods. Um, so I just, it's better for me. It may not be the best option. Like the best option would be to just not buy these things in the first place, which is what I'm going to aim to do still. But if I do, then I'm going to put this practice into place now because I don't want to be more unhealthy than I have to be. Um, and the way I see it, putting something in your mouth and just chewing on it for a bit and spitting it out, it's kind of like smoking. It's kind of gross. It's a little distasteful. But at least it's not entering my body and my body's not having to deal with it. And now I'm not having to, you know, risk things like diabetes or I'm not having to deal with the uh, later consequences of my body having to excrete the material in some way. Um, and my face isn't going to like break out more because like if you eat a lot of sugar, that can break out your face, I figured out. And like with this Asian takeout I ate, it was so oily. And I'm looking at it because I had eaten some of it the other day, and I'm looking at it and putting it in my mouth. It's disgusting. Like, sure, it tastes good, but it's really gross. And imagining it actually going into my body and being digested, and my body having to deal with all of it, it's just like, ugh. And it's mostly just noodles. It was just noodles. There was tiny bits of chicken and like cabbage and carrots and things, but most of it is just noodles. And so, noodles have some nutritional value, but I mean, really, how much when you're in America? I don't know. And it's almost fast food. It's not even, anything good. I'm probably not gonna have. I almost never actually eat from restaurants. That was a very rare occurrence. But I do like sweets. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna do this some more. Another potential consequence is if it's something salty. So like I had this snack mix and I was eating it. I know at least one time in my life I was eating something salty and or maybe something sour, I don't know. But you can draw blood on your tongue with too much salt. So you don't want to overdo it on the salty snack. Uh, and also anything you're putting in your mouth, some of it is going to go down anyway. Um, like there's certain things you wouldn't put into your mouth because you know that trace amounts of it are going to go into your stomach. It's the same with the food, so you got to be careful with that. Like I don't want to be ingesting a bunch of salt, even if I'm not swallowing the majority of the bulk of the food. But yeah, I basically swallowed none of this snack mix and basically none of these donuts and basically none of this takeout. And then I just prepared this big plate of rice and I had some oatmeal. And I know right now that I feel a lot better than I would had I actually eaten all of that. And so, again, the important thing here is don't do this if you're not going to put something in your stomach. Don't um, don't just get donuts and then not actually eat something if you're going to be practicing this. You have to eat something at the same time you're doing this. Otherwise, just looking it up, it sounds like you can give yourself different stomach and bodily problems. And it's going to make you hungry anyway if you're putting tasty things in your mouth and chewing on it. And also, this is, I believe, classified as an eating disorder, but it's usually more destructive. Like, if you're, don't ever swallow things and then puke it back up. Never force yourself to puke stuff back up because your stomach acid will dissolve your teeth faster than anything. For a very short period, I worked at this um, place that had something to do with dentistry. I wasn't like trying to become a dentist or anything like that, but it had to do with teeth. And they showed me these scans of, like at least one scan of this young girl's teeth, very young girl, like 19 or something. Her teeth were just ruined because she kept puking and her stomach acid was dissolving her teeth because that's just what stomach acid is made for. It dissolves things. Never ever do that. So if you practice this, don't swallow it and then spit it out. Or I mean, don't swallow it and then puke it. You have to swallow it and then spit it. Um, and also, the reason that this isn't that disgusting is because if the food actually does enter your body, then it has to exit in a more disgusting way later. So it's either you spit it out now or you poop it out later. It's like it's coming out either way. You might as well save yourself the calories and the reduced energy. Because I've noticed if you eat a lot of food, you will get tired and lethargic, especially like high sugary foods. Um, and you'll be dealing with like farts and stuff like that. It's better to just not deal with it all. And it kind of makes me think of the Hunger Games where they do have that, and I think ancient Rome, I think it was, where they did have the practice of forcing themselves to puke so that they could eat more. So it's definitely a privileged thing to be able to do. And I'm not denying that. I'm not, it's also, it is kind of, it would be better if I never bought the food in the first place. I'm not saying it wouldn't be better if I never did that. Like if I'm not, you might say, well, you could, spend that money on something better. I will aim to do that. I will. And, but the thing is, I know that I'm human. I know I'm going to want to taste and try to eat these snacks. And so, in the event that I'm going to pick up something, I'm going to, from now on, probably practice this. because I just want to be healthy. Um, and I know that I don't have the self-control to not buy these junk foods all the time. I know that every now and then I'm going to do this. I don't have the willpower to not do it. I'm not saying I couldn't. Like, I'm not saying I'm incapable of not doing it. I just know that I'm not going to. Um, so yeah, I mean, I basically went through a box and a half of Rice Krispie treats without actually having to swallow any of it. And I just feel powerful. I feel powerful, and it's like, why did nobody ever tell me about this before? About this idea, you know? Why did we never think about this? Why does nobody talk about this? You know, you can look it up and some people will talk about it, but most of the time it's just saying, no, you can't do that because you just can't, okay? You just can't. No, some of the concerns are valid, like you don't want it to be part of an eating disorder where you're not eating enough food, or you don't want it to make you hungrier, or you don't want to wear out your jaw muscles from chewing constantly. You know, there's lots of different things you have to be careful. So it's not something you can, it's not just a get out of jail free card. There are potential consequences if you mess this up. So what I'm saying is don't do this if you don't know what you're doing. Um, but I'm going to practice it, and I'm not afraid of what I may potentially discover could happen. Because I am a man of science, and you know, I'm willing to suffer consequences if I can figure something out, try to figure something out that might be beneficial to me and others. But I thought that was interesting, and so I just wanted to make an audio about it because I wanted to talk about it with somebody, and I didn't want to just make it a community post. So that's what I've been up to for the past few hours, I guess. Not even that long, but just earlier this morning, I had the thought, wait a minute, you know, I can do that. Anyway, have a good one. I really did not feel like I could upload that audio by itself, so I'm attaching the second part to it. I have continued this practice, and I'm really enjoying it, honestly. I mean, it makes me feel like this really disgusting. It makes me feel like it's a sin, which it probably is. Um, like it's definitely a gluttonous thing to chew and eat, not even eat something, just to spit it out, just to enjoy it. And it's making me look at food differently, where it's like, because I'll tell you this, when you once you start spitting out Rice Krispie treats and you see what it would look like if it was in your stomach, you won't want to swallow it. And then if you're not even getting the satisfaction of having something enter your stomach after chewing on it, you just start to wonder why you're even bothering. And it's like, is it really worth the taste to spend the money and to just spit it out after? I don't know if I already said this, but I kind of compare it to smoking in my mind. Because the way I always figure it, it's like, well, I could smoke and risk lung cancer and ruin my teeth, and it's really expensive. Or I could do this, where I basically, maybe I'll ruin my teeth if I'm not careful, where I just chew on something delicious and spit it out. Um, and the way I figure it, this is, I mean, it's less expensive than smoking. For sure, if you've seen how much cigarettes cost, oh my word. Um, and I mean, it's better than weed, like, but, but right now I'm fasting, or I'm going to. I just chewed on a couple granola bars just because it's like, I don't know, I wanted to taste them, but to be honest, I am trying to lose weight with my fasting, because I'm not doing it for any spiritual reason, I'll say that. That's not really a motivation for me. I'm just doing it to lose weight because I just want to have a a skinnier body in general, I guess. Um, and I'm also doing it because I am tired of wiping my butt, bro. I do not like um I don't like pooping, bro. I don't like it. I don't like doing it throughout the week. I don't like being at work and having to go poop. I'm done. Like I don't like it. It's gross, and you get to like, you know, if there's too much friction, you're gonna have some problems. Um, my eating habits aren't very good, so I guess I go a lot. If I'm not just sticking to the right portion size in like 2 meals a day. Um, and I get sick of it, and it's not honestly a huge reason why I want to fast more during the week because I just don't feel like going to the bathroom. Like peeing is fine, but I just don't want to deal with it. And the toilet paper at my job is like sandpaper. Unless if you produce a clean wipe, which you can do depending on what you eat. Like if I eat only oatmeal, I'm gonna have a clean wipe, and it's just not really gonna be a problem. But it still sucks to be um, having to go to the bathroom and pooping in the first place. And it doesn't when you only eat oatmeal, when it's something that is gonna give you a clean wipe, it's not gonna come out easy. Like you're gonna be sitting there for like 5 or 10 minutes just waiting for it. And I'm just tired of it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Um, so I'm trying to save most of my eating for the weekend. I guess maybe what I should do is try to maybe buy some fruit juice and try to just live off of fruit juice sometimes. But what I have done the past few weeks is uh, I'll get this water that's got like it's got something in it like minerals or electrolytes so that you won't be you can still function properly basically. Because usually when you fast day one you can just kind of drink normal water, but by day two you're going to be exhausted unless if you're drinking water with some salt in it or like some lemon juice in it or something because your body needs electrolytes. But I just buy this electrolyte water, and yeah, you still get less energy and it'll affect your mood. After a few days, you just won't really be in a good mood. You'll be kind of cranky. Um, but I can function. I can go to work and just actually do things with, there's like going to be a limit to it. But um, oftentimes it feels like I have more energy than if I had eaten because when you eat, it actually costs your body energy. And so you can get more tired depending on what you eat too. It's this really weird juggling game of like trying to figure out how the body responds to different things and what's optimal to do because I really don't see it as optimal to always be eating something. No matter what it is, I think that there's a point where you should give your body a rest and just let it relax and let it stop having to digest things. And that'll be a lot more beneficial to you just if you do that every now and then. It doesn't have to be always, but the whole 3 meals a day thing, I don't know where that came from. Um, I mean, it certainly feels nice to eat 3 times a day or more. Like, if I felt like I could get away with it, I would eat just constantly all the time, basically. The problem is that I'll have to go to the bathroom constantly all the time then because just my bowels are like clockwork, I guess. I don't know. Um, and I just can't deal with it. And I also don't, you don't want to be farting or whatever. So it's like now you don't have to deal with farting if, and I know this is gross. I don't even like talking about it, but maybe it's helpful to somebody, that's kind of the point. It's like maybe this is helpful to you. You know, you if you're worried about gas, just don't eat. Like, just don't eat, and then you won't have a problem. You won't have to worry about it at all. The end. And you know, depending on what sort of food you're eating, it's obviously going to affect your gas and whether or not it stinks. It's like if you eat something that's seasoned very, very much, that's going to affect that. So just don't, you know, if you're trying not to, if you're trying not to, you know, fart around the huzz or something, just don't eat for a little while. Like that's all you got to do. It's like I don't know. It's it's a first world problem for sure, but maybe it has something to do with autism. It took me a while to learn just how my body responds to different foods. I think that, I mean, it might be just, you know, like some people just don't, you just don't really realize how your body reacts to things. I mean, most people don't really realize how their body is reacting to sugar, like in the United States especially. Like that's why there's so many obese people because of sugar and uh, in drinks and things. Like I can't believe that we actually drink soda. Like it's honestly, and it's casual. Like people do it every day. Like drink a soda, um, or they'll drink coffee. Like they'll buy an iced coffee or something. And iced coffee will have like 49 grams of sugar or something in it. An adult man is supposed to have 20 to 30 grams of sugar, and a woman is supposed to have like 20 grams of sugar in an entire day. So if you buy like an iced coffee or something, and then you buy a soda, and maybe you have like some other sweet treat, it like maybe you have ketchup on your burger because for some reason ketchup has sugar in it. Why does ketchup have sugar in it? Nobody knows. Even the sugar-free ketchup has a sweetening thing in it. It's like why? Like why does this have it? I would prefer ketchup just to be, you know, tomato flavored and taste good. It's like for some reason it's like eating sweet sauce. Like people don't even realize it. And you know, barbecue sauce would probably be better if it wasn't so sugary as well. Like it needs a little bit of sugar because that's just barbecue sauce. But um, yeah, you know, I'm fasting to try to lose weight, and because I'm just tired of wiping my butt. Like I'm honestly just I don't want to deal with it during the week. When I'm at work, my job is very time sensitive and schedulistic. I have to do things at a certain time, and I just don't want to have to deal with like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom and plan my work around this. I don't want to deal with it. It's so much easier um, to just not have to deal with that. And so it's like I'm just not going to eat, you know, and that'll make me lose weight. And if I ever get to the point where I start to get dangerously underweight, then I'll fix something. But right now, I've got some reserves of fat and I can deal with it. Um, and then I combine this with this new eating habit where if I'm tempted to eat something that is just objectively bad for me, then I'll just chew on it and spit it out instead. Um, and basically, before this weekend, or maybe it was Saturday or something, I went and I bought it was like a Hostess lemon cakes and some of those Donettis and some like Mike and Ike's, I think it's called, like 2 boxes of that, and I got some Airheads because basically I just wanted to test this all out. I just kind of wanted to see what I could get away with and what it felt like. So I kind of spent a little bit more, got a little bit more than I would have, with the junk food this weekend, and I barely ingested any of it, but I tasted all of it. I ingested a little bit of it because I figured, like, I guess the body does need some sugar, and I'm not trying to just deny it of absolutely everything. So I probably ingested like two of those donutties and maybe one of those lemon cakes. None of the Airhead though, or none of the Mike Ike stuff though, because it's just imagining it. Looking at it, it's like Play-Doh almost. It's like what is even going in my body here? I don't even know. Um, and I got a bunch of granola bars, and I ate most of the granola bars, but just now I was kind of craving some of them, and I'm like, but I don't want to eat them because I don't want to have to poop later. So I just chewed on a few of them and I spit them out. And you know what? Looking at them and looking at the ingredients, probably um, deceptively unhealthy, like sneakily unhealthy, because granola bars are supposed to be healthy, but looking at the ingredients, the only thing that's really healthy in it, in the ones that I have, is the oats and maybe like the Rice crispy part of it, but not all the sugar and the corn syrup and everything and the chocolate chips and the peanut butter. It's like that. I don't know. Like that's I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea to stay away from granola bars too. At least most of them. Um, Probably healthier than eating a Hershey's bar for sure, or like a Pop Tart or something. I got these Dots pretzels. This pretzel mix, actually. I think I already talked about it. And it's nasty, dude. Like, but I definitely, actually, I don't even find them appetizing at all. Um, Especially after chewing them and spitting them out. And it's just like, why would I let that enter my body? And tasting how much salt and like garlic there is, it's like, those things are nasty. It's like, I would feel more clean if I was smoking than if I was eating these Dots pretzels and like ingesting them. But I got through most of the bag and just kind of, I'm not gonna buy them again. Because it just changes your perspective on the food when you chew it and then you spit it out. But if I took like a fruit or something, an apple or a banana, and I chewed it and I spit it out, I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna see like, oh, it's still, like fiber and fruit, and it's good. Like even though I just chewed it and it's in that gross mushy state, it's still good food. I can tell by looking at it. Or like if I chewed up oatmeal and then spit it out, it's still oatmeal. It's still good stuff, and you can tell. But then you eat some of these things, or you chew on them and spit them out, like one of these cakes or a donut or something, and then you just look at what almost entered your stomach, and you're like, I don't even want that in my stomach. I don't want that. And I just know that this is going to change my relationship with food forever now that I've started doing this. And it just occurred to me, I was supposed to eat something after I chewed on those granola bars a few minutes ago. Um, but I'm probably not going to. I mean, I might eat some oatmeal or something. I haven't decided yet. Just because, like, I don't know. It just maybe I shouldn't structure my life around not eating during the week sometimes. But I can go, a few days easily without eating. It's just I have to get over the initial hump of wanting to eat the food. Get past day one, you're not going to have a problem for a few days, at least. Once you get used to it. But I find that, once you start eating, you just kind of keep binging. And I guess I don't really have too much else to say except that, the experiment has been a success because basically I've eaten very healthy this weekend, even though I've had a bunch of different really nasty, unhealthy food. incalculable grams of sugar that I didn't actually ingest. So much, so much of this food, I could have eaten it over time. Like, I wouldn't have eaten it all at once. Like, I went through it this weekend without actually swallowing it. At least I hope I wouldn't have. I'm pretty sure I would not have. But, my body didn't have to deal with it. It didn't have to deal with all the excess sugar and all the syrups and whatever else, just all the junk. And so I'm not going to have the acne sugar breakouts or anything. And I'm not going to gain a little bit of weight. And I'm not going to, like, I don't know, send my body into diabetes or mode or something. It's not going to happen. Because I just avoided all that just by enjoying the food but then spitting it out. It's like, why would I ever, just thinking about it, why would I ever, like, swallow food like that again? Like, what is the purpose of that? And there isn't. And so instead, I ate rice and beans and oatmeal, and I had some sardines and things like that. Good stuff. Green beans. And that's basically what I ate this weekend. And I used to have a habit of buying muffins and every now and then like a soda or something, and just chips and different snacks like that, and just eating all of that on the weekend out of boredom. And I can still do that if I want to. I can still enjoy the food. It's just now I'm not ingesting it. Now my body isn't having to deal with it. I could still mess things up and ruin my teeth with this just because of the sugar. But I'm going to be careful with that, and I'm going to make sure I brush my teeth, And it just kind of makes me question my own intelligence and the intelligence of all of us if we're actually willfully putting this food into our bodies. Because we don't have to do that. You could just chew it and spit it out. It's so simple. And then instead you eat something good. And it's the most first world, like, I'm not a rich person in the first world, but for the whole world, I am a rich person. And it's an extremely privileged thing to do, and it definitely makes me feel disgusting in a way that nothing else has ever made me feel disgusting before. But it's still preferable to actually eating the food, to actually ingesting the food. It's still preferable to it. And it's making me be like, well, I don't even want some of these foods again. I don't think it's going to be a problem in the future. I think I'm going to have a growing distaste for many of these so-called junk foods, or these so-called foods which are junk foods. Because I'm going to see there's no practical purpose anymore. Before I could kind of say, oh, well, I just kind of have a craving for it, and, it might somewhat be bad for my body, but at least I am ingesting it, and so my body's getting something from it. Even though it's having a negative effect, it's also getting nutrients. Well, now there's nothing from it. There's basically no positive possible effect from doing this. I'm just losing money and I guess enjoying the taste for a little bit. But hopefully what I'm hoping it does, is it changes the way that I think about food and my tastes, and so that I won't actually want to buy and taste these foods anymore. And so I'll just basically switch to healthy food, and I'll be living off of the proper things, vegetables and the occasional meat and eggs and things like that, and grains and potatoes and whatever. Anyway, I think that's it for this audio, but it's been fun.